Okay, example 7 here. We have a little search box up at the top where you can type things in, and you can, as you search, it will filter the names of all these 25 pictures. These are these leaders from the video game Civilization 6. Okay, so you type in a few letters and it will only show those leaders, those people that have those letters. Everyone else will disappear like magic. Also cool, it has a filter, so of the 25 people, it says how many are left. There's a feature here where if you highlight over any person, that it will go orange and yellow and orange and yellow and orange and yellow, and they will show up clearer, like their regular picture. And if you take off the mouse, then if you stop hovering, they will start to fade back as they appeared at the beginning. Where you can't see them, there's low, there's kind of faded. Okay, cool stuff. Let's jump on into it. Okay, so, so we have index.html, we have a style.css, and we have app.js. So we have 3 files, and just to remember, I skipped the first few minutes of putting this together for the 3 files. Again, if it looks weird or you're having any trouble, examples 1 to 5 will take you through all those guts and more and explain it. Okay, so jumping in, it's working already. So we're going to call it leader filter app. So the app name goes at the top in ng app. And now we're going to look for the controller name. And we're going to change the controller name to leader controller. It's just a name. It doesn't matter what you put, but it should match. And that goes on the body tag. ng controller is leader controller. Excellent. Now in the title at the top, we'll just say leader filter and refresh the page. Okay. Now in the body, we're going to, like we always do, we're going to have 2 h1 tags and hr. And we're going to say the example. So example number 7 with Angular Mikey. That's me. Thanks for joining us. Okay, we're ready to go. So the way I think of it, I'm going to put HRs as kind of like dividers between the different sections. So, and I'm going to put a comment, that's a comment in the HTML, and this is the 3 sections separated by HR, separated by a line. So we got the search box and the counter, and the second section is going to show all the 25 pictures, and the third section is going to be a bottom line guessing the leader. Okay, that's going to be interesting. Okay, so on the top we need an input, and we'll need a placeholder, and it will be a little text box, so type text. Placeholder will say search, it'll say search. Okay, we'll need a div in the picture area, and I'll just have 1 picture, and it'll repeat in. Okay, and at the bottom we need 1 div with 1 image. And the class will just be bottom line, so it sticks to the bottom. Okay, and don't forget, now we're going to need a little more text at the bottom. So span tag to say looking for, and we'll zoom on in to focus on it. And we'll have another span tag after the image that says the leader's name. We'll fill that in. Okay, now we're going to have kind of like a span tag sandwich around the different parts. So we're going to have 3 span tags. So top, the middle, and now the bottom. Excellent. Okay, there's our span tags. Excellent. And clean it up a bit. And we're going to add a counter in the top search box and counter. It's going to have a counter number and then a total of a total number. Okay, that's really kind of all the HTML. Now let's get started in the app.js file on our data. And again, we're just going to have just the data. So we'll have scope.leaders is an array. Okay, lots of space, and every line, we will have 1 line equals 1 picture. So every picture has a name and a picture location. So name in quotes, and then whatever the name is, comma, pic in quotes, and then colon, and whatever the pictures is. So the picture location will be pic slash, and then you write the name of each picture. So we could write Cleopatra, pic slash Cleopatra.png. Let's copy it 25 times, and we'll go in and we'll put each name and each matching picture location. That's really all we need. If you want to look at it more, you could pause the video, but that's all the data we need, and that's actually all the app.js we're going to need. Just the data. Okay, and the counter of, so the leaders.length, that'll be the number 25, number of lines on the app.js and liters.length again, which we will change in a bit. And let's say a number out of a number. It's kind of like how many of the 25 are left. Okay, on the second chunk, show all 25 pictures. We're going to need an ng repeat of liter in liters, like we always do. And the source will be, in double quotes, double curlies, curly brackets, liter.pick. Okay, that shows all the liters. Now we have another ng repeat on the bottom, and again, it'll be liter in liters. And we're going to do liter.pick in the image, double curlies. And for the liter name, you guessed it, double curlies, and liter.name. Excellent. So now when we refresh, oh, it shows everything, which means we need to use a limit to. So add a line and then do limit to, and we're going to say 1. So you only see the first one, only 1. Okay, in the search box encounter, we're going to add an ng model. That lets you catch whatever's typed. So we're going to call that search. So whatever you type, we're going to call it, we're going to put it into the search word. Okay, so liters, now we're going to filter on the search word, and then we're going to add the length of after you filter it. Okay, again, second time, we're going to add on the ng repeat, we're going to add a filter of search. And now on the third time, we're going to put the filter search. So that will filter. That's it. That's actually an insanely awesome, cool thing, how it all magically works. It doesn't look like anything happened, but we just created a filter that lets you search through all of them. So as you, whatever you type, it searches through all the names and only shows the pictures of the that match the names. Okay, let's see what happens when we search for, you type just the letters P-O, it will show only 1 liter. How about you type T-R-A-J? Oh, it only 1 liter has those letters in that order. Okay, now we're going to add an ng-if on the bottom line, and we're going to copy the liters filtered and length. So what that will do, we're doing ng-if, so because we want to say that if you have only, if the number of filtered liters is less than, let's say, 4. If you have a few filtered liters left, then we're going to show the bottom part. If not, it's going to hide. So it actually hides the bottom part. Only when you narrow it down to less than 4, you can see that bottom part. Oh, it's not glued to the bottom. Remember, we didn't do any styling yet. That will all come later. Excellent. Another filter for Laurier. Excellent. Okay, and another filter just to play around with it. Okay, let's hop on over to style.css. Okay, we're going to need an image tag and some styling. We are going to need an image hover and some styling. We are going to need an input box where it says search. Yeah, we're going to need all those span tags. We're going to need styling. And dot bottom line for the class bottom dash line and some styling. Okay, starting with the image. The images, let's make them a little wider. Excellent. And we're going to add a border of 3 pixels, solid. Great, that'll make it look much nicer. Excellent. Okay, we're going to add an opacity that makes them a lot lighter. 0.4, so very light, and we'll play with that after. When you hover over an image, the opacity is 1, so it fills it back in all the way when you highlight over. Okay, this is just the beginning of the super juicy, cool stylings we're going to pull off. Oh yeah, you got to go to all 25. Excellent. Okay, the input. Now we're going to say on the input box, we're going to have a height of 70. It's getting bigger. We're going to have a width of 300, very long, much longer. We're going to have a font size of 40 pixels. Excellent. Okay, ooh, now it really is bigger. Let's try it out, ABCD. Okay, now we're going to add some padding so it's not glued to the side. There we go. We pushed the words over. Now we're going to add a color. It will be the color orange. The text will be orange when you type it. Excellent. Yeah, play around with some colors. Play around, test it out. Okay, and the span tag. We've got to add a little bit of padding. That will definitely help spread out the pictures. And, oh yeah, we got to get those numbers a little bit bigger. This is making a nice user interface. Okay, font size. Okay, now it's looking good. 30 pixels font size. Make any span the color blue. Okay, back in the HTML. Very important. Change your dot length on your if, ng-if filter to a crazy number like less than 100 so we can see it, so we can style it. Now in the bottom line, you see if you can't see it, you can't style it. Bottom line, we're going to do a position absolute, and we're going to lock it to the bottom. So it won't move even though our filter is filtering. It will lock it to the bottom. And we can throw in a font size And we can throw in some padding so it's not glued, the image isn't stuck to the corner. It'll center it a bit. Excellent. Okay, very good. Okay, now we get to the keyframes. This is exciting. Keyframes are like special effects on the styling. This is really cool. Okay, so to do a keyframe, you say add keyframes, then you make up some word like all images and curly braces. Okay, and again, we're going to do two of them. So another keyframe, selected image, like when you hover it. Okay, curly braces. Now, way up at the top on image, we need to add an animation, and we got to copy our word, all images. Now, in the image hover, which will be the selected image, again, animation, selected image, whatever name at the bottom must go into the animation. Now, we got to give time. So, animation is all images. We'll do 5 seconds for the first one and 3 seconds for the second one. That means it's going to have some special effect for all images. That's last 5 seconds, where it's going at the start. 0% means the start, and 100% means the end. So it's going to take 5 seconds. The selected image, we said 3 seconds, kind of crazy. 0% to start, and whatever happens to 0 is the start, and the 100 is the end. It's kind of like a timeline where you do something weird. But we're going to do a middle point of 50. You have kind of this timeline where you do something cool. So all images will start, they will end with opacity 0.4, but they will start with opacity 0, let's do 1.0. The idea here being it shows all the way, and then it gets lighter and lighter and lighter at all times. When you start the program, when you get off of them, exactly. Okay, background yellow. So if you highlight, this means if you highlight something, the background will turn yellow. Then the background will turn, let's say, orange, and then we'll go back to yellow. Okay, refresh and try it out. So everything is light, and then it starts to fade to 0.4. That's what opacity does. Okay, now it's looking really good. When you highlight something, it goes yellow, yellow, and stops. Again, if you highlight something, it goes yellow, yellow for 3 seconds and stops. Yellow, orange, yellow. Excellent. Okay, so if we add the word infinite, it will always keep going. So we'll go yellow, orange, yellow. Excellent. And then it keeps going. Orange, yellow, orange, yellow. So it'll switch back and forth, yellow to orange to yellow to orange. And it'll keep going. That's because we added selected image. That's infinite. Okay, it looks like we are done. So put that back to less than 4. Refresh the page. And the idea being that we actually, you know what? We finished it. We're done. We fixed the styling situation once we did the styling at the bottom. Okay, we have, oh, look, you can do a search for anything, and it'll suggest something at the bottom. And again, as you highlight over anything, it switches yellow to orange to yellow to orange. Very good. And you can highlight as long as you want. And now after you highlight, it'll also fade the image back to that. So it's a faded image. Excellent. And it works for all 25. Very powerful. And of course, you got to highlight all 25 and watch them highlight yellow and then fade into the background. Excellent.